whilst in Interpol, I'd actually taken on a lawyer that the Arabs were using
Yeah.
because the embassy had brought in their list of lawyers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd picked one out. And these guys had come in all dressed in fancy suits, expensive rings, and asked me for a retainer of like $300,000 or something, and we can get you
Uh,
4 years, and it will cost you $500,000. I was like, half of it? You mad? I can get a lesser sentence in an English prison for no money. Well, you know what I'm saying. Anyway. So anyway, I take on this lawyer that they put me in touch with, who seemed pretty good, local woman. So she not only does she help with the case, but she also smooths things out our transition into the prison. So she goes along to the prison guards and pays a few bribes, and we spend about a week in the remand centre, and then gets taken straight into the main prison, into the wing for foreigners. This is in Quito, where they had a wing sort of pretty much dedicated just for foreigners, which was not too bad actually. The prison was laid out like a Victorian prison in England, very similar to the one that I was in Gloucester, with a centre and the wings coming out, radiating out like the spokes of a wheel, bicycle wheel. And there was the foreigners wing, a wing mainly for Ecuadorians and a wing for Colombians and Ecuadorians, which they oversaw their own wings and we oversaw ours, kind of. So, first day there was okay. Get brought in, meet a few of the English guys in there pretty quickly. A guy from Manchester, Lee. That's right. But yeah, we didn't go into the foreigners wing first of all. We went into another wing first, where I met Lee, and spent a couple of nights there. Not very long, in like a holding cell, probably about not even as big as this studio. About 40 of us in there, having to take it in shifts to sleep because there was no floor room. It was terrible. So having gone through that, we get taken into this wing for foreigners, and where did I? Oh yeah, I ended up in a cell with a French and German guy. Quickly learned that I can buy my own cell, but
What was the cell cost?
£2,000,
£2,000,
more or less, give or
Yeah.
take, depending on the condition and what was in it. You could have TVs in there, DVD player, fridge, whatever you want. Satellite TV.
Did someone take you on a tour of the available cells?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, at that time, the prison was overcrowded, so there weren't any really. So you had to sort of wait for one to come up. You'd have like a little contract, owner of the cell, and when the cell was sold or transferred, you'd have to go to the informal boss of the wing, the caporal, and say, "Look, I want to buy this cell." He'd witness it. It was like a little contract.
Yeah.
Funny retail,
Underground economy.
yeah, property empire.
So the boss then, was he part of a gang?
He was one of the Arabs, actually. He was the Syrian guy. Oh no, actually, when I first went in, it was an Egyptian, but quickly became this Syrian. They were all connected anyway. So again, that was helpful because I was friends with his friend. So the arrival into Quito wasn't too bad, to be honest.
Wasn't too bad so far. So you get your cell then. You're in the foreign wing. Are the locals coming into the foreign wing? Are they interacting with you?
Yeah, a little bit. Not massively. After a few months, I've become quite friendly with a little group of Colombians. Met this American guy called Aaron, if you see this, who introduced me to his little group of Colombian guys, who I'm still very friendly with to this day. Spoke to one of them yesterday.
Yeah.
And they kind of had our back, so to speak.
Yeah.
Had a couple of weapons, handguns, whatnot. So
the prisoners had weapons, handguns.
Oh yeah, machetes. I mean, everyone had knives, machetes.
Did you feel the need to arm yourself?
After a while, yeah. I mean, I not always carried a knife, but I always had a knife fairly handy.
Yeah.
I did have a handgun later on when I was there, because we ended up sort of running a few things on the wing.
Yeah.
Just to generate money, really, and not cut into the money that we had saved back in Britain, or I had saved back in Britain.
What is the gang structure in the locals?
Like I say, the Ecuadorians tended to stick to their wing, the Colombians
Mm.
to their wing, and us to our wing. So I formed a little European gang I called Eurobanda as a joke, because like the Spanish word for gang is banda.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, band. So I got a couple of Russians, some English guys, a whole bunch of us, and just like about 20 or 30 of us strong.
Yeah.
And then these Colombians as backup.
Mhm.
So we started bringing in our own coke, selling coke on the wing to the foreigners. I ended up buying 3 or 4 cells, renting some of the cells out. Just doing whatever business I could, basically.
So you're a landlord and you're a cocaine kingpin and you've got weapons and you've got an army. Did you have enforcers?
Yeah, as well. They were the Colombians as well.
Yeah.
Any drug debts, we'd send the Colombians.
Really? Were the Russians quite tough?
Yeah, generally, yeah. I had one of them living with me, Vladimir, who's in Israel now. So shout out to Vladimir if you see this. Yeah, and Boris as well. Good old Russian names.
All right, so far everything's going smoothly.
Yeah.
You got your little business, you're making some money on the side. Is it the coke? Do the guards bring that in? Do you have to pay them off?
It was a bit different there because the guards. I mean, having spent time in an English prison where it's the guards, you don't talk to them. It's them and us. Going into a prison in South America where it's the opposite. The guards are almost part of the whole melee.
Yeah.
So they're all getting paid, all getting bribed. I mean, on a Sunday, which was like the collection day, all debts had to be sort of paid up. You'd pay your debt at the shop or at a restaurant, because there were shops and restaurants in there. So they'd all come around collecting their little chitty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the guards would do the same. So on a Sunday, I'd have a row of guards outside my cell, all collecting like $5, $2, $3, depending on what for. You'd have to pay them off to turn a blind eye to the fact you had a phone, the fact you had a gun, you were dealing coke, stuff like that. Just keep them sweet, really.
So this is the real world. America pays these countries billions every year to fight the war on drugs. And they end up flying around in the helicopters, showing off to the girlfriends, these politicians and these police chiefs. And the guards and the police are the ones running the drugs at the ground level.
Yeah, basically.
It's absolute madness. All right, so C Wing, Garcia Moreno Prison. That's where we're at now?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. The next chapter headline is then Just Another Day in Paradise and Whiskey Galore. You got some stories from those chapters?
That was probably when we were, because we were. That's probably when we were bringing in the alcohol as well.
Yeah.
Every other week, but visits were all day Wednesday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So you could have your family, your girlfriend, wife, friends, whoever into the wing, into your cell. So you think that's nearly half the time you're in prison, you've got your family in there.
Could you have your actual girlfriend from the other side of the women's prison moved into yours?
No, because that was
a shame.
There was they did do a thing like that, but I managed to get them out before that became a question. But I think once a month they used to bring the female prisoners to see their boyfriends or husbands into the men's prison.
Yeah.
And they could come into your cell, spend the day in the cell with you having sex and all the rest of it, usual stuff. But they did a thing where every other week on a Saturday you could have any female stay in your cell overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So they, like a conjugal visit.
Wow.
So you would kick out your cellmates, and they would sleep in the gym, and you'd have a party in your cell basically overnight.
Did they just do that out of respect because you had a woman in, or did you have to kick them down something?
Who?
Your cellmates to go and sleep in the gym?
Oh, no, because if you owned the cell, you could do what you wanted, basically.
Okay, you're the owner.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. If you really, to have those privileges, you could either rent a cell, which is why I started buying cells to rent out for these things.
Yeah.
Or you'd buy your own.
Yeah. All right, so we've got the whiskey thing didn't pan out.
No, I mean we were making money bringing whiskey in as well.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's referring to those party days because everyone would just have a massive party.
Yeah.
Whoever was kicked out of the cell would they just all go and get completely shit faced and drunk, loads of coke, end up fighting.
So the final heading then before your sentence is Nikki.
Yeah.
What's that chapter about? Can you talk
That's
about
about my girlfriend. That's not a real name. But,
Okay. Let's stick with the fake name.
yeah.
So she's on remand. She must be going through all kinds of mental processes.
Yeah.
Where is she at mentally before your sentencing?
I mean, because I got her released before I get sentenced.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah. So basically, I'm trying to bribe people left, right, and centre, judges, police, whoever I can. Mainly to get her out, get her, out of Ecuador.
Yeah.
So I managed to do that. I end up having to take the fall, basically, in order to get her released, and paid quite a substantial amount of money to the judges to make sure it happened.
Can you say how much that was?
25 grand.
Okay.
So got her out. And she came in to see me and I said, look, whatever you do, do not go back to Britain because the British police are going to arrest you.
Yeah.
I know you're not involved, but they don't care. They're just going to do whatever they can to make, first, my life hell, and second, your life really fucking hell. So, yeah, I'd arranged for an apartment for her in Barcelona, and I said, look, you can go to Barcelona. My friends have got an apartment set up there for you. Bring your daughter over from England because she had a teenage daughter at that time. Bring her over from England. Just stay in Spain and watch what happens with the case from a distance. At least you're free. You can do what you want. And if it goes Pete Tong, pear-shaped, you don't have to go back. And hopefully, and you won't be going to prison. But she went back to England, and after a few months got arrested in England, and I, by that point, had been sentenced to 12 years. They requested 25 years. Basically, the British police contacted the Ecuadorians, came over a couple of times, threatened to extradite me back to Britain, said if I got less than 10 years or served less than 6, that I would, first of all, complete the sentence there and then be resentenced when I was returned to Britain to 20 to 25 in Britain. That's what they were going to start it at. Which is one thing that worried me all the way through the entire time in prison because I got sentenced to 12, and that was for 7.8 kilograms of cocaine that they found in Ecuador, but not for the 85 kilograms in Britain and 4 million quid or whatever it was. I didn't know whether or not when I got back to Britain, however I ended up back here, whether or not I was going to get resentenced to 20 to 25 years. Right up until the day that I walked out of Wandsworth, I thought I was going to get gate arrested.
Oh man, that is the worst.
So I went through 10 years of absolute torment and fear, thinking I'm going to get stuffed when I walk out.
The worst
and
part.
Not one point did they say, no, we'll accept the time that you've done. We can see how hard it's been. Nothing like that. At no point did they say, yeah, fair's fair.